That's not the issue. You know, people just want to do other matters, other businesses. They have other priorities apart from the work in the chamber. And that is the bane. It has nothing to do with, I don't have a siren affixed to my car, I don't have a speed limit pass, I should be allowed to go beyond speed limits and endanger lives. So look,
is it allowable for some persons?
This is just
so currently, per the law, the president, the vice president, the speaker, the chief justice. This LI wants ministers. Okay, ministers already, some of them do use that, but the LI wants ministers, members of parliament, justices of the Supreme Court. Do you think it should be opened up? Already, fire service, police service, and those ones will do it, but justice of the Supreme Court, at least, should they be granted this pass? Ministers, should they be granted this pass? If MPs should not?
I take the view that you don't fix what is not broken. We have a very restricted regime. President, Vice, Speaker, Chief Justice, and a few others. It has worked for us for decades. What are we trying to solve? What really is it? You see, before laws are passed, we want to ask ourselves, what mischief are we curing? I don't see any mischief we are curing. I don't see any problem we want to solve. What is broken that we are fixing? We just want to what? Open the floodgates, bring ourselves in, bring others. I've heard media discussions, because I haven't seen the LI. I don't know if it's really before Parliament. I haven't seen it. I haven't been given a copy. But I've heard that they've added even some other
vehicles.
Yes, yeah. And cyber security, you know, and all of that. My fear is that we are just going to walk into what was considered offensive and obscene in other countries, which led to politicians being targeted needlessly. Look, our colleagues should be conscious of the growing opprobrium. Already, this democracy does not appear to be producing the dividends. Yield has not inspired confidence in our democracy. And our citizens think is congestion generally for everybody. Sometimes it is just a few potholes. It is just, you know, indiscipline on the road, allowing, you know, traders, shoppers
in the middle of roads.
You know, there are so many things that can be done by
so
this
deal
ministry.
with those things.
Deal with those things.
The anger, though, is right against you MPs in Parliament.
Yeah, you know, so you see, let's be careful. Let's be careful that we don't needlessly provoke the citizens, provoke the masses. And that's what, you see, when some of us consistently draw attention to these threats, perhaps if the Kenyans had people like us and listened to them, they will not have become the target for the masses.
If it
we are, some of us rather, are often accused by colleagues of being populist, of always wanting to side by the masses. But you see, public goodwill, the buy-in of the people who elected us, who sent us to that house, we can't sacrifice it.
If it comes to it, would you vote against this?
We cannot build a Chinese wall. I am totally opposed to it. I would be one of the 2/3. I would really want to rally 2/3 of my colleagues to stop this. But the transport minister can do us a lot of good by just coming to withdraw. Because that is another avenue.
Okay.
He should just come and withdraw this from the house. Okay. And you see, let us also take advantage of this scenario to push for constitutional reforms which will allow for these allies to be subjected to thorough debate. Pre-debate, let us all be consulted, let us all be engaged, and be sure what is going to be laid. This matter of laying in secrecy is just a few people who know about it, then it's laid 21 days, it matures, it becomes law, and then we are all presented with a fait accompli, and we become collateral damage. It is not helpful.
This is Face to Face. My name is talking there about the freedom to. When we come back, there's another thing he's been doing, campaigning against the sale of Smith hotels, and I forgot to mention the cathedral. I want to ask him what the status of his campaign against the cathedral is. Please stay with us.
Imagine a one-stop shopping experience.
It's given us exposure to help other people know that there is made in Ghana coffee.
I find it very interesting. This is my first time coming on board, but so far it's been good.
We can also contribute our quota in order to support some of these businesses.
Let's partner with you. Let's do this and then see how we can best give exposure to our customers.
Get ready to explore the remarkable fair to showcase the rich diversity, talent, innovation, and mastery of made in Ghana products and services with the This Is Ghana Exhibition 2024. Now Channel 1 TV and 97.3 City FM invites you to immerse yourself in a vibrant showcase of authentic Ghanaian products and services in the biggest trade fair and exhibition for local SMEs, startups, research and manufacturing industries, homegrown businesses, and indigenous corporate bodies that Ghana has ever seen. We shall promote, we shall support, and patronize various Ghanaian products, solutions, and services that are redefining the views on indigenous products and their packaging across all sectors.
What I bought is what I needed for a long time, and I'm surprised. So good job, CTFM.
It's really an amazing program. I'm really enjoying myself here.
The date, 31st of August and the 1st of September 2024. The time is 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. each day. And the venue is the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. Call us now on 0205-973-973 for inquiries on how to participate. The This Is Ghana Exhibition 2024 is powered by Channel 1 TV and 97.3 City FM and is proudly sponsored by MTN, Kua Natural, Ghana National Gas Company, Ghana Pay Mobile Money, Pipa Beverages, Ghana Exim Bank, Petroleum Commission Ghana, Global Share Alliance, and Build.
We've talked about the LI before the House of Parliament from the Transport Ministry. Now let's talk about the SNIT hotels. Your fight against the sale of the hotels, is it based on the fact that it is being sold to a member of parliament on the other side? There are many people who say, oh, don't mind Okujetu. If it was an NDC person buying these hotels, he wouldn't have complained. What is your position on the sale of these hotels?
So let me be very clear. I have consistently been opposed to the sale of public assets, state assets, particularly to politicians. And 16 years ago, you recall that I brought a case at the Supreme Court of Ghana against the Honorable Jacob Echebilamte when I discovered that he was purchasing his bungalow. I thought that it smelled of conflict of interest. I thought that it was totally against the grains of good conduct of public officials. It goes against the code of conduct of public officials in terms of good governance. I also argued that under Article 25 of the Constitution, when you have acquired land for public purpose, the Constitution is very clear that if you no longer have use of the land for that public purpose, you return it to the original owners, or you give them the first right, as Article 26 requires. That was not done in this case. And you see, it also attacks all predecessors and makes them look, if you like, stupid. Those who have stayed in those bungalows, you taking care of those state assets from the Nkrumah era, who've preserved them, made sure that they are in good state. You come and you want to take them over for yourself. So it has been a principle that I have been so vehemently opposed to. And I am glad that even though I lost the Obichebi-Lamte case in that 6-3 decision of the Supreme Court, Justice Sophia Akufo, and indeed all the judges commended Dr. Manibuama and I for that action. Even those who thought that I shouldn't win because Jacob Echibilamte's lawyers had said that they were still going to use it to build apartments for nurses, and so it was still in the public good. We are still waiting for those nursing apartments to be built. But Justice Sophia Akufo, took on her colleagues in her dissenting judgment and said that, look, this was a golden opportunity for us to really, look at the bigger picture, clean the stable, and prevent this from occurring in the future. Now we know that state capture has assumed dimensions that, are so unprecedented and so destructive that you now have a situation where virtually in every department, and you've been following my exposés, from parks and gardens lands, embassies. I had to virtually, expose the demolition of the Bulgarian embassy. They are waiting for Ghana to pay them compensation, by the way, after the Seoul Inquiry's report. The Nigerian High Commission, demolition. You've seen Ghana Prison Service in the battle of their lives to protect their Roman-rich land, Bostal Institute. I can go on and on, including judges who have recently gone to court since the 27th of February 2024 to protect bungalows for judges. So it's this state capture thing. And don't forget the W.E.B. Du Bois Center, which also has been handed over in a 50-year arrangement. And I am fighting all of this. So if you look at my history from 16 years ago, Jacob Echibilamte, and all the other cases I'm fighting, why would anybody make this just about Honorable Brian Champon? That probably is something personal, or I have some personal hatred, as he himself has been saying. This is not about hatred. It's not about singling out one person. I have been consistent and have always opposed this state capture, this sale of state assets. And if you look at the history, look, since 24 February 1966, virtually all the regimes have been engaged in these sales. What has come out of it? We have seen a pattern where public officials deliberately run down state assets and then turn around to buy it. If these hotels are not good for all of us, why should they be good for you? Why should they be good for one person? The other question to ask is, if the Honorable Brian Champon is such a great hotelier extraordinaire, the best the world has ever known, and has all the acumen, the expertise to turn hotels around, why can't he bring it to bear? Now that he is in cabinet, his government is in power, he has all the influence. He will only bring that expertise to bear when the hotels become his, when he has controlling shares.
He's not a minister for 60%.
Tourism. I mean, why didn't he lobby to be minister for tourism? And you don't, at cabinet, you can contribute on any matter. You don't even have to be a tourism minister, because you could have lobbied to be tourism minister. You could have lobbied to be MD of Labadi Beach Hotel, or Smith, or Smith Director General.
He's now minister for Agri, but also private business.
But even though you didn't lobby for that, no problem. We won't begrudge you. In cabinet ministers can contribute on any matter, bring their knowledge, their expertise to bear. How is it that you are only willing to bring that expertise to bear when it becomes yours? Doesn't that expose the fundamental principle I have always espoused, that look, these sales, it is just about personal gain. It is never been about the country. It's not in the national interest. So it is a principle that is bill. And I want to thank the lawyers led by Professor Kweku Azar who have helped me. In the next few days, we'll put it out. We are calling it the Protection of State Assets Bill 2024. We are saying that all politicians, whether NDC, NPP, whether your party is in power or not, and politically exposed persons should be prohibited from purchasing state assets. Because I've seen that Article 284 of the Constitution, which fronts against conflict of interest, and even the Anani ruling and others. And if you look at the Anani ruling, people think that
Richard Anani of Kufuor's
government. Yes, of Kufuor's fame. You know, when you pay regard to the Anani ruling, conflict of interest was defined. And the judges, the commissioners, said in that ruling, at Shraj, the commissioners of Shraj, said in that ruling very, very clearly that when it comes to conflict of interest, it has to be, yes, I found it. Sorry, I have a huge stack of documents. That, you know, the test and the rules is not only direct, it's indirect, it's even perceived, even the likelihood. Let me read the principle that they established, page 21 of the Anani ruling, you know, on conflict of interest. It says, the commission has held that a public official breaches this provision not only where there is actual conflict of interest, but also where there is a likelihood of conflict of interest, where there is already in existence a personal relationship between a public officer and another person, or between their respective institutions or companies. There is an onerous responsibility on the public officer to ensure that all future transactions between the two persons or institutions are conducted with utmost transparency and in such a manner as to avoid suspicion of any improper motive or conduct, unquote. So you see, perceived, apparent, likelihood. I'm not aware of any country in this world, any serious democracy, where public officials are allowed to buy state assets, sell state assets to themselves.
This report you just quoted, was it not quashed by the court, which makes it moot?
No, it was not. This principle, the conflict of interest principle.
So it stays, but the decision was thrown out by the courts. Okay.
You know, so when it comes to conflict of interest, it's very clear. And you see, under Article 78 and Article 98 of the Constitution, certain safeguards have been presented that if you're an MP, you're a minister, you must subject yourself to a committee of members holding profit. That committee is chaired by the Second Deputy Speaker. They should assess what you are going to do, the kind of business you are going to engage in, to be sure that you will not go and engage in conflict of interest. There is not a conflict of interest transaction. When I checked, in the case of the Honorable Brian Champon, he is not one of the 47 ministers and MPs who have gone through the process and have received a certificate from the Speaker.
To do what?
To engage in transactions.
Let me ask you a very practical question.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Brian Champon had this hotel before he became minister. So this is a man, until recently he was not a member of the Akufo-Addo government, he was a member of parliament.
Yeah.
But he's a businessman.
Yeah.
He had his hotel. Now he becomes a minister. Should his hotel cease all operations that will bring it profit? If that hotel thinks that, oh, there's a bid happening somewhere, we should go and bid, should that hotel not be able to go and do it? What is wrong with that? Are you saying as a member of parliament you cannot do any private business?
So, under Article 78 and Article 98 of the Constitution, the Constitution provides parameters within which you can go ahead to do your business. So if you look at Article 78, it says ministers of state, a minister of state shall not hold any other office or profit of or emolument, whether private or public, and whether directly or indirectly, unless otherwise permitted by the Speaker, acting on the recommendations of a committee.
So that's a committee you talked
of
about?
Parliament, yes.
Okay.
On the ground that A, holding that office will not prejudice the work of a minister, and B, that no conflict of interest arises or would arise as a result of the minister holding that office. So, you see, the Constitution tries to provide safeguards, what all of us should do.
But it does not say you should sell the company or stop owning the company. I
haven't said that. So, in the case of the Honorable Brian Champon, he didn't subject himself through this process. And you see, 78 deals with ministers, 98 is just a lift, similar rendition, 98-2. A member of parliament shall not hold any office, the same for MPs. On both counts, both as minister and as MP, he didn't go through the process.
No problem. But my question